viewers once again. Another beautiful Monday morning right here on Sports Orbit, speaking from Leadership TV. My name is Apacho Salifu Usman. Is in studio. Salifu, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Thank you, Alpha. It's nice. It seems to me that the cash crush is affecting you. This is morning evening.
Yeah, all right. All the same. Wally, how are you doing over there? Welcome once again to Sports Orbit. Hope you are doing well, Wally.
Thank you, Alpha, for having me. Good afternoon to Salifu and to everyone in the studio. You must agree with me.
Right? Can't get that. Well, once we get in touch with Wale, he's going to speak with us. Well, but we'll begin from AFCON under 20, where for the Flying Eagles, despite so many, talk, ahead of the first game, Lagamboso had a lot to say going into the competition, but getting onto the field of play, that's why sometimes it's best to do your talking on the pitch, getting on the field of play, and the Flying Eagles did start on a note where a lot of Nigerians has hoped to that the Flying Eagles will start losing that match 1-0 to Senegal. For some, well, I don't know how some took that result. For some of us, we felt, they played quite well, but I didn't expect them to actually lose that game, maybe because of, the confidence with which they had going into that match. Salifu losing that first match, it was really a heartbreaker for a lot of Nigerians, especially losing to Senegal. And some Nigerians are beginning to say it looks like the balance of power when it comes to football gradually is shifting because Senegal, apart from being African champions, they are also the Chan champions. And now starting under 20 in this way, see, a lot of analysts have said looks like Senegal are becoming the new powerhouse in African football.
Yeah, Alpha. Let's not start from the angle of the Flying Eagles first. It's like the Flying Eagles play all their matches before the World Cup, before the AFCON. Just like you say, the team, the high hope and high
Yeah.
expectation from this Magambosu team, not just because Nigeria is a powerhouse or one of the most successful team at that level of African continental competitions. Going their preparations to the game, it shows clearly sign that the team is on the right path to give Nigeria the needed and the most needed result. Judging from their waffle competitions where they are match champion, and then even the preparation for this particular championship, unfortunately, when they get to the main party, they refuse to dance. Where I see that, and it's all that there's some technical lapses from the team. It's quite unfortunate that we are starting on the losing note, and now that defeat has clearly put the team under a serious
Next match is against host Egypt.
has clearly put the team under
You know?
a serious pressure,
Yeah.
and more importantly, that Egypt also got their opening match against the Mozambique. Now we are on the bottom of the table, right there on the bottom of the table against Mozambique. The next match now is a must win.
Against the host.
It's a must win for the Super Eagles. Some people will argue that a draw can still keep them in the competition, but if Fly goes to stand any chance of like play progress to the next round, the next man must be a must win for them against the Egyptian, and which is going to be very tough. And the let's see how I'm not going to write the book off officially for now, and let's see how the numbers and the technical team will be able to get the team and put some this is where the psychology also comes into play. We need psychology to sign the best for that the team to go all out and get the team. Now, and let's talk about the Senegal is the long-time investment in football are beginning to yield for the Senegal. Apart from despite that they were not too successful in the World Cup campaign, they're one of the teams that get in the second round of the World Cup, have been African champion at the home base level, the champion, then the champion. Now they have started the other thing on a positive note. So now, if you're looking at their match against Nigeria today, it clearly is a statement of intent that yeah, they are ready to also win the other thing. But I hope they will not. If they win and go by the way they are, they clearly show that they are out of the football.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, we just hope that the Flying Eagles can go for an all-out win, which will be very difficult playing against Egypt, who drew their first game, and they too will be hoping to really impress in their second game. So it's going to really, really be a difficult encounter in that one. Moving away from that, we it is worthy to also note that Super Falcons were also in action in the Revelation Cup, and once again, Super Falcons lost. And it's on record that Super Falcons have lost their last 7 matches under coach Randy Walton. And New Zealand, Australia is coming up. Isn't it time the NFF take a look at the technical crew of the Super Falcons once again? Because this is becoming alarming. Because it looks like the Falcons can't simply win any match anymore. Some Falcons are playing a match, you don't even expect anything. They play a match and you hear the results and they are losing. I mean, this is a very sad situation. Hearing this news about Falcons yesterday, I was terribly, terribly, very upset. And I think it's time. This, I mean, another look should be taken at around the world. So,
Yeah, Afra, it's not even becoming alarming. It's already an alarming already because we have advised severally. We
mm,
have stated here on this particular schedule since severally calling whoever need to be called to look into this direction. But unfortunately, all the appeals and landed on the deaf ear. And even while we thought that while the wrong was our unique arrangement,
yeah.
but
So
we
we'll
see
see. Yeah.
seems also to continue with the same arrangement, which is not working.
Mm,
I have said several that there is no need if we have to all the way or travel all around to the US
mm.
to hire a coach for the Super Eagles, it will be a
A
top-notch
top
coach.
coach, not
A
a
top-notch coach,
university coach.
not a university coach, a secondary school coach or
No, it's actually a university
a school
coach.
coach. Yeah, it's
Mm,
a university coach by all about
mm,
by his standard, by his technical input. I'm
mm,
very sure that he's not even qualified to be a university coach.
mm.
Because I can't imagine a team that a coach of his status for that high level managing a team that are like African champion for many years, for many times, for 10 times, and we are going several matches without recording a victory. And every of his predecessors who have handled the Super Falcon before Grand Robin, nobody has had it so bad
Yeah.
the way he has handled it now. And I think, if you also look at the support that has given to him so far, none of his predecessors have even got 1/4, and each 1/4 or even 10% of the support he has enjoyed so far. This is the only coach that NFF have given him all they needed to give him in terms of giving support, in terms of giving plan, arranging friendly matches for him to fight through the team.
Yeah.
Frank Ronaldo and his team has competed not less than 4 invitational tournaments. No previous coach has had that opportunity apart from the friendly match. But in all these things, Frank Ronaldo has not given any Nigeria any positive side or any small sign of hope that this team is heading to somewhere. So obviously, well, already we are at the last minute June, but the World Cup is coming up in June, September,
Yeah.
June, July.
Mm.
But I'm not in
I
as
think
much
there's still
in
time.
as
Few
much as
months.
that injury
There's
in as
still
much
time.
as injury time.
Mm.
I think NFS can go on a rescue mission to bring
Of course.
somebody who know how to go
A
about
good coach.
tactically
I
to
mean, the
bring a good
next
coach.
June, July is still about 3 months. A
They are
good
going
coach in
to
the
bring
next
a
three
coach.
months will be
I
able
don't see that
to bring
if
about some changes.
if we go to the World Cup to do the Switzerland and Australia with Randy Rondon, definitely Nigeria should just forget about what is likely going to happen in the World Cup.
All right, let's move on to our next story. I don't know if Wale can hear us now. Wale, can you hear us? Okay. Still getting once we are able to establish connection, Wale will get in touch with us now to the NPFL where we saw a match week 9 of the NPFL go down yesterday, and of course some matches on Saturday. Interesting matches, I must tell you. And for Bendel Insurance, they have now extended their lead on top of the table after that 1-0 defeat to second place Enyomba right there at the Samuel Ogbemedia Stadium yesterday. For insurance, they are looking like the team to beat this season. And once again, that goal was it was a lone goal, but it was scored by leading scorer who is also a joint scorer with the Aimbama. But I mean, I that game was on TV yesterday, and I had the opportunity of watching that. game from start to finish. And I must confess that the quality of football I saw yesterday was very standard. I think I was quite happy with it, and I was even happy seeing the Nigerian league on table. I can only hope that as against seeing just one match, and we can see much of match where it was a high quality game. I enjoyed the match through and through. Insurance played, in fact, it was more like a game of two halves. The first half, Insurance dominated. In the second half, Enyimba came out smoking, but Insurance somehow held on and the match ended 1-0. And Insurance on top of the league as they go for the break, leading Group A with 7 points.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. If you're looking at the result of the match yesterday, it clearly shows that it's the top of the table clash.
Yeah.
Enyimba needed that result badly to cut the
At least
gap
cut the
between them
gap,
to just 1 point.
Mm.
But it's like Insurance having another plan and have a different business and wanted to ensure that they maintain their momentum and continue to extend the lead between them, and which they have succeeded. Now widen the gap to 7 points. With that 7 points, it will take Enyimba too much and more than too much to overtake Insurance on top of the table now. And going by the way Insurance has played so far, Insurance looks like a team that is not ready to relinquish that position to anybody for now. They have succeeded going to the second stage of the league, topping the log with 7 points in Group A, while Lobby is leading the way in Group B. But they got
2-0 victory over Doma United.
So congratulations to Insurance the way they have played so far. They have clearly demonstrated that. Why some of us were thought that it was just an initial joke, that they're just a few, but they have proved to everybody that they mean a business in their return to the Premier League after many decades more than a decade playing in the lower division. So clearly, and just like you say, I will also give a kudos to the IMC. In as much I'm one of those who is still reluctant to give them all the thumbs up, and it's still early. But having watched analyze and looking at what they have achieved so far in the second stages of the league, of their beach league, I think to some extent I'll score the IMC. Let me say 55%. To some extent they have done well so far, and let's see how we go into the second stage of the league. What it look like, and like even on Friday there was a story that promising that the second stage of the league, all the match will be
on TV.
On TV. There's an arrangement to have it on the Super Sport, one of the one of the best African broadcasting sports station in across the continent. And if they succeeded in doing that and having the league on the Super Sport on the table, definitely that would be an additional bonus and an additional competition to what they have achieved so far. In terms of officiating, we are beginning to say fair officiating, even though there are some questionable calls here and there, and which they have also managed to punish it, to respond to it instantly by apply sanction when necessary. So we hope that when we come back after the election, the league is going for a 3-week break, and after the election, when the league resumes, all we want to see is an improvement. And however, I give the thumbs up for IMC for what they have succeeded so far.
All right. Still have plenty of stories to give you when we return from this break. Don't go nowhere.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome back from that break. It's still Sports Orbit now to some not too cheering news where the Nigerian Football Federation has commiserated with their Ghanaian counterparts, as the Ghana Football Federation, over the death of Ghanaian international Christian Atsu. Recall that last week it was reported that he was actually found under the rubble. His body actually was discovered under the rubble, dead after that earthquake had happened. Initially, there are reports that he was okay, but it became a case of missing identity until on, I think, Friday, Saturday morning, when his agent came out to officially tweet that he was actually found dead. And sorry situation really. And his body was actually flown back to Ghana yesterday, and not the best of times for the footballing world at all.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. Our hearts are with Ghanaians and Ghanaians for Ghana football continually, and we wish him so rest in peace. It's so unfortunate that he has to go on this way. There's nothing anybody can talk about say about it. That is the will of Allah. What God has destined to happen, it will surely happen. But we wish if he was his family, his immediate family. Because if it's immediate family, it's so unfortunate that we lost one of the African.
Exactly. Very unfortunate one. Well, I will move on to some other news, some athletics. This time talking about the cross-country race. Recall that the first national country race, the cross-country race rather, ended in just over the weekend, and the Plateau State duo of Kefar Williams and Blessing Solomon emerged victorious. In just Solomon and Indigene of Plateau State stunned veteran Deborah Pam for the deserving victory in the women's category. The 2022 National Sports Festival 3,000 meters steeplechase champion ran 38.3612 seconds to win ahead of 11-time national 5,000 and 1,000 meters champion Pam with 38.4737, and Grace Danlami Pam, the best Nigerian runner at the gold label accessed by Lagos Marathon early this month, was delighted to run the first cross-country race in Nigeria. So a good one coming from there, and it's instructive to note that, not a surprise that indigenous of Plateau State actually came out victorious. They should understand the terrain for cross-country race. For those of you who understand Plateau State, he has that kind of terrain, and it's no surprise that indigenous of that state actually came out victorious. One can only hope that more attention should be given to these athletes to see how they can take this victory to international level. Yeah, very well. The Kenyans, the East Africans, Ethiopians, and what have you. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I also give my two hands thumbs up for the honorable minister of International because I say I doubt if this event is going to have based on the president several policies somersault. But the minister and his team were able to prove me wrong, that they really mean it, and eventually it's finally held despite within the shortest time. So congratulations to the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport and his team for ensuring that we have the first country cross country race under his watch. No minister before him have attempted to do this, but he came with idea even with just a short time to live in office. That we like it over in the next 4 months he'll be exiting the office, but we pray either the next government will be able, either the next whoever emerges as the next president will appoint him as the next minister of youth, as to continue as the minister of youth and sport, because whatever his critics will say, but to some extent there are some new innovation in sport under his watch, even though there are some lapses here and there, but no human is perfect. But some extent, if you measure his achievement, they say the football is achievement of sport under Sunday Dare and his predecessor, you definitely want to give Sunday Dare some thumbs up that yet he came in and make some changes and make some improvement to our sport development, and compared to some of his predecessors. So this country, national countries, is one of the achievements that our attribute to Sunday Dare administration, that he has succeeded. That for the first time we have the first national cross country race under his watch. So it's a good achievement and it's particularly show commitment that distance race that Nigeria has what it take to improve from their distance race. We can be in who we are in Nigeria, having a lot of Fulani herdsmen who are moving over, who can trek from far away Borno down to east and everything. And we have still you can't have those champion in a long distance race. Oftentimes we organize marathon here, we organize here and there, East African, Kenyans, Ethiopia come here to cut away and they don't last from this country. So we give kudos to Solidarity for engineering this revival in the distance race.
All right, to some other news now in the Bundesliga where Senegalese star Sadio Mane said it was just fantastic to be back in training with Bayern Munich on Sunday after being out of action for 3 months. Recall that he sustained an injury shortly before the start of the World Cup in Qatar, and since then he's been out of action. But on Sunday, of course, he returned to training with Bayern Munich, and for him, he said it's good to be back training, and of course, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, he should be back fully on the field of play to continue, doing what he knows how to do best. And of course, since his absence, the for quite a long time, I think the Bundesliga has been quite competitive as Bayern Munich not doing too well like in previous season with Union Berlin on their heels. I think the point difference between Bayern and Union Berlin is about two or just a point thereafter. But we hope that with Sadio Mane's return, he will, probably help them to, pull away from, the chasing pack in
Yeah,
the
and
Bundesliga.
with the top of the table class coming up this weekend with
Yeah.
Union Berlin
Mm.
and the Champions League next week. Yeah, it's a sharing news having said Sadio Mane is the reigning Africa Footballer of the Year and the reigning Vice World Footballer of the Year back on his feet again after 3 months on the sideline. And we wish him as he has recovered to stay fit. Congratulations to Senegalese football team as well. They miss him at the World Cup. Who knows if Mandi would have been part of Senegal team, maybe they would have escaped and progressed to the beyond the second round finish at the Qatar World Cup. But it's good that just like you say, his absence in Bayern Munich lineup has clearly shown that yes, he's that despite swap from those one season from Liverpool to Bayern Munich, and yeah, we may see him now that he's back. Let's see how he's going to fire from all season and then add more impetus into the Bayern Munich in their title chase, which they have the Bundesliga, which they have dominated for years.
Yeah. Right. To some EPL news now. Some interesting matches went down during the weekend on Saturday and yesterday. And of course, we take a look at some results. Of course, for Arsenal, they had to come back, from a goal down to actually end up down. Two late goals in stoppage time actually end them a victory at Villa Park as they ended that one 4-2. While for Man City, lost the chance of going back to the top of the table as they drew against all odds, against all expectations. It was 1-1 at the City grounds out there against Nottingham Forest. While for Liverpool, looks like they are gradually getting their mojo back as they were able to defeat Newcastle. And for Newcastle, who all season have been impressive, gradually beginning to look like, you know, um, beginning to show everybody that look, we don't really belong, here because gradually they've now fallen to fifth position. Tottenham back to winning ways. 2-0 against West Ham actually propelled them to fourth position in that one. While for Brentford Crystal Palace, a London derby, it was 1-0 draw. For Chelsea, looks like the problems have refused to stop for uh, Chelsea as Southampton actually recorded a 1-0 win at Stamford Bridge. For Everton, looks like Sondijk is doing a good job since he took over 1-0 against Leeds United, while for United continued in their fine vein of form 3-0 against Leicester City. But looking at these matches, for Chelsea, a lot of people are beginning to worry too much about Chelsea because in the last, I think, 8 games, if I can remember,
10 games.
Chelsea 10 games, Chelsea have just won just two. In all competitions, both Champions League, Premier League, and some Chelsea fans are beginning to call for the head of Potter, while Some are saying, well, maybe he should still be giving you some time to study the ship.
Well, interesting weekend, just like say, after not trying to repeat what you said exactly.
Oh,
It was a fantastic weekend for football fans, followers of the particularly followers of the Premier League, even the Bundesliga, even the Bundesliga, the Spanish league, and even the French League One. Remember, Messi has to rescue the PSG to get a win against Marseille. And then talking about the Premier League, why a lot of hope were seen that as Arsenal, it appeared that Arsenal hope of clinching the title was dashed away after Man City overtake them at the top. But that Man City only enjoyed that lead for 2 days. For 2 days, and then when Arsenal get back to the top of the table on Saturday with following the victory at the Villa Park, when I expected that when it's just a temporary that Man City will regain their position. But unfortunately, I guess all just like say, Nottingham Forest, who has begun to show that theirs, where they are one of those who have also criticized after buying the whole team for a season. Now they is begin to ease a result because currently they are among the currently within the top 10. So now, surprisingly, held Man City at the City Park to a 1-1 draw, and that's also pushed Man City down, drift with 2 points behind Arsenal. And talking about Chelsea, honestly, it's really unfortunate. What is happening to the Chelsea team and the Stamford Bridge. Southampton, who have lose to
bottom
everybody,
team, yeah, bottom team in the league.
bottom team who have lose to everybody this season, surprisingly beat Chelsea in their own home 1-0. It's really unfortunate. But however, why everybody appear to be blaming Grandpa has come to say, well, don't blame me for Chelsea nightmare. I'm not responsible. I'm not responsible for the program. But he refused to tell us who is responsible for the program. But he also spare him, just like we said here. It's not about who you want. It's about what do you need.
Yeah.
But Chelsea just went to the market because there's money in their pocket and there's money in their bank. Went to market to grab everybody that is grabbing. Everybody they feel that they can bring it. But not clearly interrogate the situation. Who do we need at this critical time? Spending 300 million pounds for just January, and yet after that spending, they are yet to come in. And now everybody trying to exonerate himself from the blame. What has he done hold me responsible for the nightmare what is happening at Chelsea? And then for that, let's say how it's going to be, but a whole lot of fans, there's a clear pleasure on the owner to remove to sack Potter for now. But even as I'm one of those who never believe that Potter has what it takes to handle a team like Chelsea. But in this scenario, I also spare him because if you have given a coach job to do, you have to allow him to identify the critical areas you needed to bring somebody.
Yes.
But because you have the money and you lord over him as a boss and begin to apply that this is what you bring everybody you want to bring. Now you are spending a whole lot of money. Now you are crying of investment that the return of investment to come. The return of investment cannot come when you don't even carry the man who's supposed to handle the situation alone. Just like you buy a car and give the driver, you set the driver, let the driver identify the critical issue that you have to do the problem of the motor, not you because you feel the money and you begin to buy everything to fix the motor and to design the motor and make it look function. And in terms of movement, the motor cannot move. So let's see how it's going to be. But however, if they decided to just like the fans are calling for a Chelsea fan for Potterhead, so be it. Chelsea is their normal character. They don't hesitate. They don't have a patience with coach. When anytime things go wrong, they go after the coach. But let's how it's going to be. And then Man U has begun to show some threat against the table toppers. So Arsenal and Man City now have to be careful because if you look at Man U, thanks to Rashford has the strongest of Rashford is something that surprises everybody. He has become one of the deadliest strikers in the EPL, scoring every goal in every match. And yesterday he was on the score sheet, helping Man U to beat Leicester 3-0 and that has moved them to top now just with 5 points between them and the leader. So and to me, I'm even more scared if I Arsenal fan, you are even more scared of Man United than you are Man City. But clearly, Arsenal has to be very careful because the way those two Manchester team are coming behind is a clear issue that this title race is yet to be decided completely.
And maybe that's all we have for you on today's episode of Sports Orbit. Tomorrow, hopefully, we'll be back again with another exciting edition of the program. So do join us 4 p.m. once again tomorrow. Salihu, thank you for being in studio today on this edition of Sports Orbit.
Thank you.
right, until we come your way tomorrow again, do stay safe out there. My name is Alpha Cho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.